Welcome to the LOCUS Golden Hour podcast. This podcast is about sharing stories, advice, tips, and all things surrounding university and student life. I'm one of your hosts, Kristina.
And I'm Lina. And today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about living on your own. So to get us started, Kristina, I'm going to ask you a little icebreaker question. What is your favorite chore to do, or like the one that's like the least painful to do?
So the first thing that comes to my mind is actually doing laundry, even though it can be time consuming. I think it's just because I really like the smell of laundry.
I
And I like,
agree.
yeah, and it's like satisfying to have all your clothes folded and like in your closet all nice, and it smells so good. Even though I take like a long time sometimes and I procrastinate folding it, it's still probably my favorite chore to do. Better than cleaning the bathroom, for sure.
Mhm.
What about you?
I was gonna say the same thing. I like laundry the best. I also love the smell of laundry. I feel like it's the easiest to because you just put it in and it does it for you, like you're able to kind of do other things while it's, in the laundry machine. So like I feel like it's super easy. Just like press a few buttons, wait for it. The hardest part is folding it, right? Which I know I sometimes leave it and then it becomes all wrinkly and stuff, but
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like it's probably the easiest out of all of them. I know the one I used to hate the most was actually washing the dishes, which is kind of funny because like, I don't know, I feel like taking out the garbage might be like worse, but like I hated washing the dishes.
Yeah. I don't I don't really like washing the dishes either. But there's this motto that I don't remember what I saw. Instead of putting it down, put it away. So when you use a dish and you put it in the sink, and then I don't know, maybe you do your dishes at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
To try to get in the mindset to do it right away. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do, which is sometimes hard, but
Yeah, I definitely think when things get busy, for example, like when it's exam season, like I know I sometimes slack on like cleaning and stuff, but I think the mentality of like once you eat, like clean up, or like when you're cooking, like try to wash dishes while it's like boiling or like you're waiting for things. I think that will help you in the long run because like the worst thing about washing the dishes probably is the pile, if there's a pile. Because I don't mind. I actually it's funny because now I really love washing the dishes. I find it like soothing for some. I don't know. It's like I don't mind doing the dishes now, and it's kind of like my time to like think and like chill out. But yeah, I think having, if you finish eating, just like wash it right away. I feel like then in the end, it's like not that bad because it takes like 2 seconds to like clean a few dishes.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Which is that's something I need to do. But like, um, I forgot what I was gonna say. We can cut this.
Should we talk about either
uh,
laundry or cleaning?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say something.
Okay.
Do you have any tips for people who maybe haven't done their laundry before? Because I know not everybody has, and like, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, for people who are moving out for the first time and living on their own, do you have any tips for how to do laundry?
Yeah, I would say don't let it pile up because um, the more laundry you have, it's just like it will become harder to like, for example, like fold all that huge pile, right? And you don't want to overload your washer or dryer either because that way like your clothes won't become fully dry or maybe they don't become as clean because there's too many clothes. So make sure like you're putting in a decent amount. I know like living alone so depends on your like apartment or house, but like sometimes you might have to pay for each wash, right? And it might be like a common area where like everyone has to go down to like the first floor, for example. And it might not be in your unit itself. So when that does happen, like you are paying for each load, so you want to make sure you get the most out of it, but also like make sure that it like gets fully dry, for example. Because like for me, the worst thing I hate is like when I would dry my clothes in my old apartment and it like wouldn't be fully dry. So then I'd have to like hang it up and like wait extra like longer. So yeah, try to do it. I do my laundry weekly, and I find that it works pretty well because my basket's like, I don't know, this like box and not box, but like, the typical laundry basket. I feel like once it's like full, like it's a good like load, if that makes sense.
Me too. I'd also say separate your lights and darks in case you didn't know, because it makes your clothes last longer and also like keeps the color better. Like I do my laundry weekly too, but I don't really wear too many light clothes. So
Uh-huh.
I can usually like wash all the dark clothes in one week and then there's not a lot of light, so then I just like wait until the next week to wash all of my light clothes.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's smart. I know like some people even separate like their whites and their colored. Personally, I don't do that. I just put everything in the same thing, but I know like yeah, my clothes can get ruined easily. But yeah, that's a good tip. I think I should take that tip. I know. Um, did you have your laundry machine in your unit?
I did, like in my current student house. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember in first year when I was in residence, you had to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of sucked. So sometimes I didn't separate it because I didn't want to pay for two separate loads if I didn't have that many clothes. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, it really depends. I think also make sure to pay attention to what can go on the dryer and what can't,
Yes.
because I've ruined a lot of clothes that way. Oh, also check your pockets. I've lost so many lip balms to because I forget them in my like jean pocket or something, and then it goes in the dryer, and then it's just all melted in the tube after.
That is so, no, that's so sad. Yeah, definitely check your pockets, whether like I feel like um if you leave like capers and stuff in your if you do that a lot, make sure you check your pockets too. But yeah, I agree. Like my place right now has laundry in my unit, so like I can do as much laundry as I want. It's great. And everything. Also, if you had like if you have laundry in like a common place and you have to pay for it, make sure you go and get your laundry as soon as possible. I put a timer on my phone and like make sure to go down and get it. That way people, you know, say like I remember my old place, like in first year, only had four machines, two washers, two dryers in a building with like obviously a lot of people. So make sure you go so other people aren't waiting and so that people won't touch your stuff because I've had instances where people have touched my stuff. And the thing is, it wasn't like I didn't even make them wait. Like it was like 1 minute after like it finished and like I time all my stuff and they already were taking out my stuff. And I was like upset because I don't like when people touch my stuff,
Yeah, same.
especially my laundry. Like, you know, yeah, so make sure you time your stuff and don't make other people wait or else people might touch your stuff.
Yeah. In first year, there's like a basement common space right next to the laundry room.
Mhm.
So when how we were talking about multitasking earlier, I would do schoolwork in the common room while my
Okay.
laundry was there. So then I could just like walk to the next room and check to see if it was done yet.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
smart. Yeah, no, I would just put timers on and like literally go down as soon as possible. Sometimes I'd wait for it to finish because I absolutely hate when people touch my laundry.
Yeah, same, same.
What about what would you say like cleaning tips? Do you have like, I don't know, products you like to use or like strategies you like to use?
With me and my roommates, we're generally clean people, so we clean up after ourselves right when we make a mess, which helps a lot. But like when sharing a bathroom with one of my roommates, we take turns to clean it every other week. So like if I clean it this week, she cleans it the next week. Um, and it just like I think cleaning as you go makes it a lot better because you
Hmm.
don't have such a big mess to worry about later. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because like the more it builds up, again, we're talking about like dishes and stuff. It makes it so much worse to clean, right? Um, and then you won't want to do it because it's, I don't know, it might be dirtier or like it just might be harder to approach, right? So if you do it frequently, I feel like that will help you in the long run.
Mhm. Also, keeping your room tidy, because especially if you're doing a lot of work from home, your like mental space usually reflects your physical space. So
Oh
just
yeah.
like constantly keeping it clean, or at least like, making your bed or whatever in the morning, it keeps you in a better headspace, at least for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I used to not believe in making your bed, to be honest. I was like, quick access, like I don't need to like make it clean or whatever. Like it's fine. Like I just come home and sleep in it, whatever. But I have like, I guess since like moving out and stuff, I've made my bed all the time. I feel like it makes a big difference. I don't know. It's like that routine thing I do in the morning. It looks neat. It makes my room look a lot better. So I don't know. I definitely think making your bed is something that's important that may be overlooked sometimes.
Yeah. For big cleans, I think this kind of goes with like other things with roommates about what you need to know when you live alone. But my roommates and I do a deep clean every Saturday. We do it as a group together. So like we sweep, vacuum, mop, clean the kitchen, and we do it as a group activity since like obviously you clean up after yourself, but there's also going to be like a little bit of a more like deeper mess that accumulates. So we clean every common space that we share and do it as a group, and I feel like that also kind of keeps us closer as roommates and makes us more
Mhm.
friendly.
Yeah, no, I feel like that'd be nice because imagine like you're the only one cleaning the common area. First of all, common areas tend to be like big, like somewhat like bigger than like your room, for example, right? And because everyone's using it, it probably gets dirtier easily, like more easily. So, doing it together just kind of makes it better.
Yeah. Do you have any other cleaning tips, like products that you use?
I love Lysol. I like the smell of Lysol.
Yeah.
I also, because I have like wooden floors, like I use it's like off-brand Swiffer essentially. So like a mop to mop the floors and like a broom, classic thing. Maybe if you have carpet, you might want to invest in a vacuum that will last you a while. Um, but yeah, I do enjoy cleaning a lot, so I feel like, you don't need any revolutionary products to clean essentially.
Hmm.
I would say invest in gloves,
Oh yeah.
so that you're not, no chemicals are going on your fingers or your hands, and that you can really get in there while you're cleaning.
Hmm. And like if you like, I like using for the kitchen in the sink. We have the Comet powder. I think it's bleach, but like
Oh yeah,
Um, that's a product I like to use. And if you're using like a rag or a sponge or whatever to clean, make sure you clean that out well too, because it can hold on to bacteria and then you use it the next time and then it just, yeah. You want to make sure you
tragic.
clean
Yeah.
the products that you use too. Yeah.
You're just spreading the bacteria at that point.
Yeah. Oh, especially in the bathroom too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Speaking of like, you mentioned your roommates, how do you, I guess, approach, bringing some topics up? How do you deal with your roommates? Like like roommates in general? Let's talk about that.
I think it's, well, when I lived in residence first year, we had to write a roommate contract at the beginning of the year, like expectations for how often we're going to clean, like what the temperature of the house is going to be, like who, like touching the thermostat and stuff like that. So it may be awkward to write a roommate contract, but it makes things so much better in the long run to sit down and talk with your roommates about how clean you want things to be, or how, like, who's going to take out the garbage, or who's going to do this and whatnot. So writing a roommate contract, or just being clear about what you want or what you kind of expect your roommates to do. And then also if any issues come up, don't be passive aggressive about it or like leave sticky notes up everywhere, because that always just causes more problems. So like being straight up, usually talk to them preferably in person and not over text, because things can get lost in translation a lot of the time. So if there's something that bothers you, try to talk to them about it, because sometimes they won't know. And so they're going to continue to do it. And then you might be like start to resent them or something. So just talk about what bothers you and what you want to tolerate and what you don't want to tolerate. Yeah.
Exactly. Those are really good tips. If you don't know your roommates very well, I would still say like try to talk to them, or like if you need to leave a sticky note, like do that, but like be direct with your sticky note if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But obviously talking it out is really important. I think another big thing is like um talk about like boundaries, like if you have certain boundaries with like for example, bringing people over once that is like able to be done. I know like, with COVID and everything, those restrictions have changed and stuff, but um once like things get better, if you have like people over or friends over, like let people know, communicate that. What are your boundaries? What are some things that you want to kind of have in place so that everyone feels comfortable? Because I feel like the worst thing would be if you feel uncomfortable in your house.
Yeah.
Even if you're sharing a place, it's really important that everyone feels safe in your place of living.
Mhm.
So, you know, if you feel uncomfortable, like you need to make sure you set your boundaries and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Because everyone should you should have a right to feel safe in your house. So just keep that in mind.
That's a good one. Yeah. And this one may sound weird, but also talk about how clothed you expect your roommates to be, because sometimes people just like walking around in just their underwear, or like you never know like how people feel comfortable at home, but it can also make you uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, and if you have a roommate that like doesn't like wearing pants in the house, tell them if you're gonna have someone over so they know to put pants on,
Yes,
that
yes.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you also learn how your dynamic is as you live together. And like, you
Mhm.
don't have to be absolute best friends with your roommates to get along. So like, you can
Exactly.
get along just fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like having like roommate nights are nice because even if you're not that close, like just kind of trying to get to know them is always something that is always a good thing so that you can get along well, and just like live peacefully. I think that's the main goal. Again, you don't have to be best friends, but if you can live peacefully, that is good. I know, I've lived with people I don't know and I've lived with my friends, so I kind of have a mixture experience with both. Um, but in both situations, I feel like all of these tips can apply.
Hmm. Yeah. And also talk about what you can share or can't share, or what you can borrow from each other. Like,
Mhm.
in terms of like kitchen stuff, like also maybe when you move in, like who's bringing a toaster, like can they use your kettle, can you share a coffee machine, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, again, if you use their stuff, make sure you clean it, or put it away so that the next person who uses it can use it right away.
Yeah, and like try to like take care of it as if it was your own too.
Exactly, exactly. You don't want to have like five toasters, right? So make sure
Yeah.
like it would be nice to like share some things if possible so that you're not like cluttering your common area. Um and like you share that burner, or maybe even if you need to purchase, for example, like a shower curtain, like who's gonna purchase it? Are you guys gonna split like that cost? Or like if you bring something, maybe I'll bring something. Those are always good things to talk about as well.
Even for grocery shopping, say like if you share certain things, like if you're getting like a bunch of like green onions or something, I don't know how much green onions you're gonna use, but like you could talk with your roommates about like, yeah, I bought this big bunch, like you can use some of it, because it's just gonna wilt or whatever.
Hmm.
So communicate with them, like, are you sharing butter? Or if you're like baking, are you sharing like a big bag of all-purpose flour or like rice or something like that? You can
Yeah.
talk about that too. Saves money too.
Yeah, I know in the past, so all my roommates, we all used to just buy our own things and like cook our own food, which is totally fine. And then we kind of later, like we cooked a lot together. So then we ended up buying groceries together. And like I know I'm not the best cook, so like I just helped my roommate and she'd be like the main chef.
Me too.
And we'd eat together. And so that saves us a lot of money, but also like I would buy like my own things if I wanted like my own snacks or to make my own food. But that can also save time for like cooking. You make a big batch, and you guys can all share it together. It's like nice to have dinner with your roommates too. So kind of think about those things as well. You might be able to save some money by sharing things as well.
Yeah. Do you have any other tips about grocery shopping, Lena?
I would say, shop on sale. I feel like all students, like literally, I will find the cheapest thing on there. Usually it's like the store brands, like Great Value or like the no-name brands. They're all the same, guys. Actually, I'm like learning about this. They just have it under a different name. It might be the same company, but it might be cheaper and it just isn't associated with that brand name, so it doesn't really matter. And I'd also say try to develop like meals, if that makes sense. Because when you're buying things, maybe you're like, oh, like this like product is on sale. But if you buy it and then you bring it home, you're like, what do I make with it? That's like something that like caused me issues in the past, where it's like I would buy it and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make this, but like I don't know how to do this, or like I don't know what meal to make it, and then it just go bad.
Yeah, me
So
too.
like try to think of things or like what are you gonna use it for? Like if you don't need it, like are you just buying it because it's on sale and you want it, or are you gonna eat it and like use it? So think about that.
Yeah. Like I like to have staple meals that I usually cook. So then I
Mhm.
go and I buy the same thing. And if it's on sale, then I can just buy it in like bulk. So I don't have to buy it like the next week or whatever. Like a staple meal I make is just like I guess every week I go and I buy like some chicken breast or chicken thighs, and I always get broccoli because that's just like vegetable I like, and I have it with rice. Like, you figure out your staple meals as you go. I didn't cook much before I moved out, but you figure it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think my staple meal is rice with a protein, so like usually chicken for me, tomatoes and spring mix. Like that is
Mm.
my go-to. I also always purchase spicy tuna when I go grocery shopping because it's in a can and super easy. And like if I can't make something, I can just pop it open, eat it with rice or bread. So like that is something like if you're on a run, buy some like things you can make easily, or like frozen foods, even though like they might not be the best for you, but um it's better to eat something than
Yeah.
nothing. So have like different a variety of things for like backup, and then also like try if you want to try making a new meal, like go for it. Just make sure you actually make it and it doesn't go bad.
Yeah. And like having a quick, cheaper meal can be cheaper than ordering something.
Hmm.
And sometimes healthier than like just like ordering McDonald's or something like that.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. Anything else in terms of saving money or grocery shopping?
I'm thinking about like budgeting. You can budget your
Mhm.
groceries. I don't remember where I heard this fact, but the average Canadian should spend $50 on groceries every week, like just for
Mhm.
one person. So for me, I try to go a little bit under 50 every week. And then it also changes if I'm decide to buy protein like meat in that week because meat costs more. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, just paying attention to prices as you put things in your cart, because I know sometimes some people don't, which I've never understood because my parents always told me to pay attention to prices. But yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I spend around the average of like $50. I do usually I like food. I buy a lot of things. So sometimes I do go over budget, but um sometimes if you buy like say like you buy for like 2 weeks, then think about like you got double the budget, but you have to make sure like okay, it will last me for this long, if that makes sense. So think about that and how you can kind of budget enough so that you have enough for everything you need.
Yeah. And then with just budgeting in general, also think about like when you go out with friends or like you buy dinner, go to the movies, whatever, budget that as well as like treats for yourself. Like if you want to buy
Hmm.
yourself like this new like top or whatever, something like that, just to make sure that you don't like blow all your money.
Yeah, sometimes going out to eat with friends can be expensive, like just a regular meal. It's an additional expense. So just think about, saving up that amount of money to have fun. Last but not least, I think we can talk about, living on your own for the first time. It can be exciting, it can be nervous, it can be nerve-wracking. Do you have any tips about living on your own for the first time?
Um, hmm. I think like it's okay to be homesick, and it's okay to miss your parents, and it's okay to feel like you don't know what you're doing, because that's the time in life where you start to figure everything out. So like don't be afraid to go home and visit sometimes, or don't forget to call your parents because they miss you too, you know.
Mhm.
And then just like sort of have fun. with your like independence and freedom, because it can be scary, but everyone else is trying to figure it out too.
I guess someone told me this a while back and it kind of stuck with me, but no one knows what they're doing. Like, I remember when I was younger looking at like, the university students, I was like, whoa, like they're so old, they're like adults, they know what they're doing. And like now you're here, you're like, oh, so no one else knows what they're doing. Nice. Um,
Yeah.
everyone's in the same boat. Like if you need, I like, Google things, like ask a friend, ask your parents, like you're not alone, and you'll make some mistakes, maybe you'll learn some things along the way, but have fun with that and like try new things. So don't be afraid. With this independence, comes a lot of great power, I guess, because it's you that's doing all of making the decisions and everything, but you'll be okay.
Yeah. For sure. You'll be okay.
I feel like that's a great place to end off our episode today. What do you think, Kristina?
Yeah, I think so too. And like we can also always, go in depth with more things, like have a episode about just roommates or things like that. We could have a guest on or something to talk about their experience too. Some tangents, some tips.
For sure. Yeah, this was our first episode with our Everything You Need to Know About series. Very, very quick and very brief for all these different topics, but you'll definitely see this coming up again. But yeah, as Christina said, we'll be talking more about certain topics in the future. But that's it for now. And until next time, stay golden.
Bye.
Bye.